All right. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the official committee of Talc Claimants, sometimes referred to simply as the TCC, welcome to our second town hall. Before we dive in, I want to share that we have over 525 people joining us live on this webinar. To those of you who are tuning in, I want to first say thank you. We know your time is precious and we appreciate you taking a few minutes to be with us today. Today's town hall is scheduled to last around 30 minutes. Our goal is to be as efficient with your time as we can. In the future, there may be longer town halls as we discuss future and further details in greater depth. When we anticipate that happening, we'll be sure to let you know. Now let's get on to today's agenda. The purpose of this town hall is to introduce you to a few of our 11 TCC members and discuss their stories, as well as to answer some of your most frequently asked questions. If you have questions, we encourage you to submit them by email to, and I quote, questions@ltltalccommittee.org, questions@ltltalccommittee.org. We also have a web page and we encourage you to look at it. The web page is updated regularly. The web page is found at ltltalccommittee.org, ltltalccommittee.org. The speakers on today's town hall are myself, Melanie Cyganowski from Audubon. I am one of the co-counsel together with Brown Rudnick and other law firms representing the committee. Also speaking today are TCC members, Patricia Cook and Rebecca Love, who are represented respectively by our co-presenters, Lisa Nathanson Busch from Whites in Luxembourg and Michelle Parfitt from Ashcraft and Jarrell. We're also joined by committee representative Leigh O'Dell from Beasley Allen, who represents Alicia Landrum. Alicia was planning to join us today, but due to treatment for her cancer, is unable to participate today. Lisa, Michelle, and Leigh are co-chairs of the TCC. Michelle and Leigh are also co-lead counsel in the MDL multi-district litigation. For those who may not know, the Talc Claimants Committee is comprised of 11 members. Of those members, 10 are either suffering from ovarian cancer or mesothelioma, or they have family members who suffered and died from these diseases. In addition to Patricia and Rebecca, the other members of the committee are Brandy Carl, Randy Droren, Christy Doyle as the estate representative of Dan Doyle, April Fair, William Henry as the estate representative of Deborah Henry, Alicia Landrum, Sue Summer Kress, Tanya Wetzel as the estate representative of Brandon Wetzel, and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts. Today, you will hear directly from members Rebecca Love and Patricia Cook. The TCC was appointed by the Office of the U.S. Trustee. The committee is the official committee specifically appointed under the Bankruptcy Code and is the fiduciary which represents all Talc claimants. Under the Bankruptcy Code, the committee has a duty to communicate with all of the creditors and claimants in the LTL management bankruptcy case. Lastly, before you meet our members, let us remind you that we are not your lawyers and we are not here to give you legal advice. We understand that many of you have counsel, and for those who identified your counsel when you signed up for this town hall, we reached out to invite your counsel to attend. This is not a solicitation for or against the debtor's proposed plan. This town hall is being recorded and will be posted on our committee's webpage. And before I turn it over, I just want to mention that we now have over 630 participants. Welcome to you all. Now I'd like to turn it over to Patricia Cook. Patricia.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate the time you've taken to join us. My name is Patricia Cook, and I am one of the committee members. I've been asked to join you today and share my story. but I have a feeling that many of you have similar stories. I grew up using Johnson & Johnson products. My mother worked for the company when she was younger, and she encouraged my sister and I to use their baby powder. We always had J&J things around the house. I used it as part of my daily routine. And when my sons were born, I used it on them as well as part of the diaper change routine. As an adult and through my career as a personal trainer, I've always been mindful of my health. I worked out and ate well, which is why I knew something was wrong when I felt a lump in my abdomen early in the year 2020. By December of that year, I was diagnosed with biphasic peritoneal mesothelioma. The news was so shocking, it was paralyzing. In the beginning, I was so overcome by fear and stress that even the most basic first steps, like finding a doctor, were overwhelming. I couldn't believe that someone like me, who had always prioritized my health, could get cancer. In February of 2021, I had cytoreductive surgery with HIPEC. My abdomen was full of tumors. I had my gallbladder, appendix, spleen, omentum, and parts of my intestines and diaphragm removed. I had a hysterectomy and also had hernias repaired that were caused by a large tumor. After that, heated chemo was poured into my abdominal area for 2 hours and then rinsed out. I had complications from the surgery that included a blood clot on my portal vein and an elevated resting heart rate due to a reaction to the anesthesia. Because of COVID rules, I spent 12 days alone in the hospital. Then I had a grueling 3-month recovery that included 2 more hospitalizations. And during this time, I lost almost all of my hair. After recovering, I did 10 months of immunotherapy until my cancer returned last year. And then I had 4 rounds of chemo. My cancer diagnosis and treatment has been devastating and disruptive. Even now, as I sit here today, my last scan showed some growth and more chemo is in my near future. Through all of this, however, I've worked hard to find peace and get back to feeling myself. I've come to appreciate every single day. I started practicing hypnotherapy, Reiki, and breathing butterflies as a way to combat my stress. I continue to work out and eat even healthier than before. I can't do everything I used to do, but I'm back at work with the support and encouragement of my clients who motivate me as much as I motivate them. I spend more time with my husband, and we've been traveling as much as possible. I also enjoy the time I spend with my 2 adult sons. I have a wonderful network of friends, and I found strength through some online MESO support groups. 2 of my friends from those MESO support groups passed away this year, which just reminds me of how important our committee's work is. Joining this committee has given me an opportunity to stand up for myself and for everyone like me dealing with the consequences of J&J's negligence. I'm a very private and reserved person. While I typically hate drawing attention, I feel so infuriated by J&J's maneuvers to evade responsibility. I knew I had to take a stand for myself and the thousands of other victims out there. I'm furious that J&J is trying to avoid accountability for what we've gone through. Until we see justice served, I've made it my mission to be a voice for those battling these terrible diseases. Please know that it is people like you and me who make up this committee, and we know what's at stake, and we'll keep on fighting until justice is served. Now, I would like to introduce my fellow committee member, Rebecca.
Thank you, Patricia, and hi, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Rebecca Love, and I am one of the 11 TCC members. In fact, most of us were involved with the first J&J Talc bankruptcy case. That one was successfully dismissed by the Third Circuit Court of Appeals back in January. And when it was finalized in April within 2 hours and 11 minutes. LTL and a subsidiary of Johnson & Johnson filed for bankruptcy for a second time. So Patricia and I both are working on this committee as well. We've been appointed by U.S. trustees to represent all the talc claim people. It is my honor to sit here today to serve as a voice for all of us, the unfortunate victims. And I'm deeply passionate about being on this committee. It gives me renewed purpose in the wake of the diagnosis that we have. Tell you a little bit about myself. I am a dentist by profession. In my career, one of the things I love the most was being a dental educator, teaching young people how to become dentists and how to become dental hygienists. I'm also a retired Air Force veteran. Now, I have to add to that list and can add to that list that I am an ovarian cancer survivor at this point. In 2018, I found a lump in my groin and I saw my physician and everything started happening fast. CAT scans, PET scans, biopsies. And then I received the phone call. I'm sorry to tell you this, but you have ovarian cancer. I'd already been BRCA tested. I didn't have BRCA gene. I have since been tested for a battery of other genes that cause cancer, and I have none of them. I have no family history behind me. The one thing I do have is over 40-year history of using Johnson & Johnson baby powder in my groin area. Going through the treatments, I went through 7 chemo cycles, debulking surgery, rehabilitation after the surgery. And then I was so sick that I had to give up my greatest passion, which was teaching. I was too weak to continue on. I wondered what was my purpose. It was never a why me? Why do I have this? But what is my purpose for having this? And I found a couple of answers. First, I was fortunate enough to go into a clinical trial. And that clinical trial is for women with advanced stage 3 and stage 4 ovarian cancer that combines what we call a PARP inhibitor. PARP in our bodies repairs the DNA in the cancer cells and the cancer comes back. But it was combining that with an immunotherapy as well, hoping that the immunotherapy will potentiate the action of the inhibitor to bring the cancer back. With that, I wanted to make sure that I was representing and helping women with advanced ovarian cancer and to help all these people in the future. So being in this clinical trial was really, really critical for me. My oncologist and I both believed I was on both of the drugs. I was very fortunate. As those of you with ovarian cancer know, stage 4 ovarian cancer there's only a 17% chance of being alive in 5 years. I will make it. I'm a few months away. I'll make it. I'll be in that 17%. And for that, I will be forever grateful. My second purpose is being on this committee to represent all of you. I want justice for the victims of Johnson & Johnson, who knew that they had a product that had carcinogens in it. And I want to make them accountable for that action of putting products and profitability over people's health and people's lives. J&J's deceptive plan to invent a fake company that didn't exist before, that includes all the talcum powder claims in it, to settle all talcum claims forever and ever. It's unconscionable what they are doing. I find their proposed plan to be a little bit troubling. We're not going to talk about that now. Our TCC representatives are going to continue to analyze the plan, and at the proper time, we'll be prepared to comment on that plan and answer any questions you may have. In many ways, I feel that the universe has called me to serve others. I've proudly dedicated my life to helping people around me find answers to any of the questions they have. I've done that through being an educator, as a dentist. And one of the things I did in dentistry, I am a forensic dentist. So I have helped many families find closure when they've lost loved ones that needed to be identified. So being a part of this committee is a continuation of that calling. Despite everything that I've been through, you have been through, I have hope. I want you to have that hope too. For those of you listening today who are also battling cancer, please know that there's hope. There is hope for our futures. There is hope for having more time with our families and our friends, our loved ones. All the things that we love to do. Most importantly, there is hope that we will and we are living beautiful, fulfilling lives. Like Patty, I've decided to take my life back. With my husband, Tommy, at my side, I'm rediscovering a love for a lot of the hobbies that I used to have. But more importantly, it's probably more about doing the simple things. I want to get back out in the middle of the river and fly fish again. I finally feel I have enough strength to get out and to do that. being in the river, walking my dog by the river, being with my friends, having dinner parties again, having the joy of travel, reading new books, and hopefully revisiting old masters. Once again, the simple things are what make our lives beautiful and wonderful. I want to find joy. My happy place is just sitting out on my deck and looking at the beauty all around me. Once I created a fundraiser for a wonderful ovarian cancer organization that I'm passionate about. It's called the Clarity Foundation, and it is for ovarian cancer. It's a nonprofit organization aimed at supporting people who have ovarian cancer in all sorts of ways. They have fundraisers. I read a book that really struck me. It was wonderful. The book is called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie Mackesy. In this book, the boy is trying to figure out the meaning of life and what is around. And he's talking to the horse. And the horse says, sometimes just getting up and carrying on is brave and magnificent. So I named my team Brave and Magnificent. I want you all to remember we have hope, and I want to encourage you to live every day and be brave and magnificent. Now, a lot of you have had questions, so we're going to answer some of those questions now.
Okay, this question is for Lisa. Lisa, what do you think about what's happening?
Thank you, Patricia. And thank you, Patricia and Rebecca, for your stories, for sharing, and for giving everybody hope. And we wish you so much good health and to get better for everybody who's listening in today. What do we think? The Talc Claimants Committee, everybody on the Talc Claimants Committee believes that this bankruptcy was filed in bad faith, the same as the first one was filed in bad faith, and that this should be dismissed. We will be having a trial at the end of the month in front of Judge Kaplan in the bankruptcy court to see if he will dismiss this trial. It will go on for the entire week of last week in June. And if he does not dismiss this case, we intend to appeal the decision to the Third Circuit. And that Third Circuit is who, in the previous case, dismissed this bankruptcy the first time, as it should be dismissed the second time. So, you know, we are here, we are backing you up, we are all ready to go and, you know, go right into this trial. And, you know, having you all by our side and in our thoughts on a daily basis is always helpful and keeps us all going. So, you know, we can all hope and everybody can listen in on Zoom and hear what is going on in that trial at the end of June. It's the last Tuesday in June is when the trial begins. So any other questions there? We will be having some hearings, but as Patricia and Rebecca know, we are involved, we are ready to go. Everybody's gearing up with multiple depositions. It's going on a daily basis now for a couple of weeks. And we are hopeful that this case gets dismissed. If not in this bankruptcy court, then we will appeal it again to the Third Circuit, and hopefully they will do what they did the first time around.
Michelle, I'm just curious, and so are a lot of other people. What can you tell us about ongoing litigation outside of the bankruptcy court?
Rebecca, thank you for that question. But before I answer that, Patricia and Rebecca, and frankly, all of the women and your families that are listening, you are the bravest and most courageous people. You're not just survivors. You really are warriors. And I just want you to know that on behalf of all of us, those that get to speak, those that give a chance to give voice today, are all sitting here, I think, having the same thoughts about the two of you and the battles that you have frankly won. So with regard to your question, Rebecca, the bankruptcy, unfortunately, has stayed all pending litigation in the MDL courts. That's the federal court. Now, we hope that that situation will be remedied shortly. But in light of that stay is only applicable to the MDL or the federal court cases for ovarian cancer. Outside of the federal court, we're encouraged about the ongoing litigation as to mesothelioma cases and ovarian cancer cases. There is aggressive discovery being had in the state court cases, all types of discovery, except for trials. That is one limitation to the ongoing progress of the state court cases. Now, there's an exception to that one. In California, we are anxiously watching and listening to the Valadez trial, which is being tried by the Satterley firm and a gentleman who is unfortunately suffering from mesothelioma. And that case is moving forward in California, and we look forward to hearing very positive things from Mr. Valadez. Aside from that, many state court cases are active. We have cases going forward in Atlantic County of New Jersey, where we have the Honorable Judge Porto. We have cases going forward in Middlesex County with Judge Viscomi. We recently had a motion that was filed to dismiss Kenview, one of the newer and added parties, in addition to J&J and JJCI and Holdco and Janssen. We also have Kenview, a new consumer spinoff. Judge Viscomi recently ruled that he denied J&J's motion to dismiss those claims in that amended complaint. Judge Porto will have that same issue before him shortly at the end of this month. In addition to what we're seeing in New Jersey, we're seeing cases continuing to be filed in California, in Florida, in Pennsylvania, Missouri, Illinois, Georgia, Delaware, and discovery is ongoing, again, with the exception of trials. I want to touch on one thing though, Rebecca. You talk about hope. Patricia, you talk about hope. I will tell you what we are hoping for, that we can return all of you back to a system of justice that allows you your right to trial by jury. And we are hopeful that your cases will be moving forward and progressing. And we thank you for all of your efforts, all of you listening and on the camera today. You're an incredible group of human beings, and you are making change each and every day. You are powerful. Thank you.
Okay, Leigh, is there anything that claimants can or should do at this time?
Thanks, Patricia, and thank you. And Rebecca, again, I want to add to what Lisa and Michelle have said. Your bravery and courage, your commitment to service, your hopeful attitude is inspiring to us. And I will tell you, for those of us who've been in this litigation a long time, and you need to have any reminder, and we don't, but any reminder of why we're doing what we're doing and the battle that we're fighting, what we've heard today is galvanizing. And so we're grateful for you. Thank you so much. And so what should claimants be doing? What should all of you who are listening be doing now? I think one of the things is what you've done today, and that is by joining all the town hall sessions. We'll endeavor to make them as informative and efficient as possible. So I would encourage you to do that, to stay in touch with the website, go on frequently in order to get updates there. Not only will you hear about town hall meetings, but anything that's actually happening in the litigation will be noted there so you can track the progress. If a court has a hearing, like Lisa mentioned, the upcoming motion to dismiss trial or hearing that will happen at the end of this month from June 27th through the 30th, there'll be a link there. So you can click on the link if you want to watch for part of the hearing. So not only the motion to dismiss hearing, but as well as other hearings that happen along the way between now and the motion to dismiss. You know, you might ask about the plan. What is the plan? When are we going to comment on that? Just know that we are analyzing the plan now, and that at the appropriate time, when the law allows us to comment on it, we will be doing that and to provide information to you that would be, I think, helpful to understand exactly what is being proposed and what's not being proposed. And then lastly, you may have questions along the way, all of you listening, and we encourage you to reach out to your lawyer to ask questions. And I know they'll be available to you to provide answers as much as possible. And so those are the things for the moment. That'll change over time what you can do to be involved in this process. And we believe it is absolutely critical that all of you that are claimants be involved in this process, to be educated and understand what's happening, because we are better together. And as we stand strong, then that will be the most powerful thing that we can do to stand against this, what we've called an illegitimate bad faith bankruptcy by LTL. So thank you for the question.
Thank you. Thank you, Leigh, Michelle, Lisa, and of course, Patricia and Rebecca. Before we conclude today's session, in addition to these thank yous, we wanted to share that part of the purpose of today's session was to show you that each of the TCC members truly have a stake in the outcome of the proceedings. Many people have said several things that aren't particularly kind from time to time, and we wanted everyone to know that behind the words TCC and Talc Claimants Committee are real people with genuine ties to the horrible diseases that we've been talking about. As we mentioned at the beginning of this event, we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to tune into today's session. I'm very pleased to report that at one point during the session, there were over 705 people who were on the webinar. Looking ahead, there are a few near-term milestones we're approaching quickly. On June 13th, this coming Tuesday, there will be an omnibus hearing to discuss, among other things, an extension of the preliminary injunction. That motion was recently filed by the debtor. In addition, there'll be the committee's motion to remove what we call lift exclusivity so that the committee can propound its own plan. And there will also be discussions of the proposed disclosure statement and plan and the scheduling of future hearings. Soon thereafter, on June 27th through June 30th, as we've remarked, there will be a hearing at which the court will hear evidence and determine whether or not the TCC's motion to dismiss the bankruptcy case should be granted. For more information about the motion to dismiss and why we decided to file it, please visit the committee's website at ltltelcommittee.org, ltltelcommittee.org, to read through our frequently asked questions or to watch the first town hall that we presented. We will continue to keep the committee website updated frequently. We will be able to flag upcoming town hall dates and events as they are set forth. If you have any questions about the case between now and then, please don't hesitate to contact your own lawyer or submit questions to the email on our website. We will endeavor to promptly respond to all questions. Again, as I've stated, our website is www.ltltelcommittee.org. You can submit questions to the email address at questions@ltltelcommittee.org. Again, thank you very much and have a wonderful day.